Onana, Jadon Sancho and Mason Mount are the three most trending footballers in the world today on the internet. It is certainly because Manchester United is still topping the news despite the fact that the Red Devils are yet to sign a single player. They are still topping the talk and conversations each and every day when it comes to the transfers. Now there is a new update concerning Mason Mount, and that's why he is trending. I'm going to be giving you just that. He could be still destined to join Manchester United. Andre Onana's bid is being prepared, whereas Jadon Sancho is still a confusion. Could he be let go of, or will he stay and try to fight to make himself worth the millions of pounds he was bought for by Manchester United from Borussia Dortmund? That's 2 seasons ago. Welcome to the Hot Spot. My name is Webb and we're here to talk about the latest news concerning Manchester United. Subscribe if you haven't. Now let's get into it now. The big one, I'll start off with the big one now. Andre Onana's bid is being prepared as we speak. United are expected to be bidding for Andre Onana in a few days coming, and Onana has certainly been a top target for top clubs in Europe, including Chelsea, who have been inquiring about him from Inter Milan. But as it is now, United, who were the first to hold conversations with his agents, are going to be bidding for him this week. That's the expectation. Remember, after the third and final bid for Mason Mount was rejected by Chelsea, Erik ten Hag and his bosses, the CEO, Richard Arnold and John Mata, the director of football, did agree that they're not going to push further and overpay for Mason Mount. So I'll tell you an update on the Mason Mount situation in a bit. But for now, they're going to be moving on to make another bid, because you cannot bid with for so many players at once. So the plan now is to move next and bid for Onana. But I also wanted to share with you an interesting record by Andre Onana. For those of you who might not be so sure of how good the Inter Milan number one, the 27-year-old Cameroonian international is, I want to just give you a few stats of him and his performances, that is in the Champions League and of course the main major leagues in the world. He has got the most saves, that is in the Champions League last season. He had the most saves, that was 47. He had the most clean sheets, that was 8. He had the most accurate long balls, that was 116. We are talking Andre Onana for Inter Milan last season as they reached the final, only to lose to Manchester City. So United could certainly be coming up with trying to bid for a top goalkeeper who certainly is one affordable goalkeeper. So that's the situation for now when it comes to Onana, and it looks imminent. And the talks that have been going on that he switched agencies are not true, as confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. He's still under the same agent, and this same agent made contact with Manchester United, and it is expected that this week there is more that is going to be done, and United will be approaching Inter Milan to table an official bid. I don't think we should have any qualms about that. The De Gea situation is becoming increasingly confusing as it is now. Again, there is no major update concerning David De Gea and whether he's staying or not. But regardless whether he stays or not, Andre Onana is coming in. If he stays, it will be because he has agreed not to stay the number one. The deal that has been tabled for De Gea is him earning in excess of £200,000 per week. That is a big cut from his £375,000 per week he's been earning, but also not being a guaranteed number one. So Onana comes in as the number one, or as a fair competitor with David De Gea. Whoever is better takes the starting place. So that's the situation concerning Onana, a person trending so hotly now on Twitter. Now let's talk Mason Mount. Now, just a few minutes ago, Fabrizio Romano, the transfer kingpin, came out and gave a proper clear update on the status. And of course, we quote Fabrizio Romano when it comes to the transfers, because to be honest, he's one of the most credible sources when you talk transfers, I think, globally. So I'll quote him, and he was giving a clear update of what's going on with the Mason Mount situation. And as it is, do remember that United's third bid was rejected, and United, like I said, are insistent on keeping it at that. They are not willing to pay the 58 million plus £7 million in add-ons that Chelsea do want. So what is happening now is that Manchester United are still have left. They have not completely pulled out of the race to sign Mason Mount. Erik ten Hag and the whole the board of the club and the management of the club, they have all agreed that they do want to sign Mason Mount. Now, it's either they sign him now For the money they tabled, the maximum, that was 55 million euros in total, 50 million plus 5 million in add-ons, or they wait because the player has agreed with them. Remember, the personal terms have been agreed and sorted. He will be earning £200,000 per week when he joins the club. He will be signing a 5-year contract. Now, those are the personal terms that were revealed between the two parties. That's Man United and Mason Mount's team. But if Chelsea do not go ahead and accept the offer that United has left them to contemplate on, United will wait for his contract to expire, but they are not willing to overpay. So as it is now, it is not exactly that Manchester United has dropped their interest in Mason Mount. They have just reduced their speed. They have just said it's now at that. It's take it or leave it, but it's not going to frustrate us, and we're not going to go back and forth with this. So that's the situation as just recently updated by, and of course, as I've been telling you, by Fabrizio Romano. Concerning the Mason Mount situation, United clearly do want Mason Mount, but guys, for me, I've been thinking a lot about this window because there is a lot of frustrations and things to think about if you're a man who loves Manchester United. But I've been thinking deeply about this window, and I'm thinking, why don't we actually just go ahead and go for Victor Osimhen and guess Moise Caicedo, with whom I'm going to give you an update for as well. Why don't we just go and go toe-to-toe for the hottest players in the world? Even if we signed only two, Moise Caicedo and Victor Osimhen, and blew all the transfer cash we would have, I think it would be a good summer for Manchester United. It would be one of the best summers. You've signed two world-class big players who are young and who will be there for quite some time at the club. So for me, my thinking is, instead of going and back and forth with Mason Mount and all these other players, why don't we just go and get the big ones? We are the biggest club in the world. United has got to be bidding for those ones, so we should be diving into those hot conversations. But well, that's the latest situation, as I've just revealed it to you. So United again are waiting on Chelsea to go make this. Remember, Chelsea had offered to meet Manchester United to have a conversation about Mason Mount, perhaps trying to corner them. But I think it's a smart thing that United did, saying, no guys, just take that or leave it. We're not coming to go back and forth on this. That's it. We don't want to meet you. No physical contact needed. We know our offer. We are so clear. We want to sign the player. He wants to join us. So it's up to you now. The ball is in your court. There are also some rumors that emerged earlier on today that even Bayern Munich joined the race to sign Mason Mount. Those rumors are not exactly true. I think they are still, you can keep them that. They are still rumors. They are not rumors you might want to dwell on. But for me, if Bayern did come up and showed interest in Mason Mount, I would be happy, because again, for me, I'm not exactly comfortable seeing Manchester United blow 55 million on Mason Mount before signing a striker and a central midfielder. For me, that's my honest opinion. But give me your 2 cents on that. Give me your opinion on that. Of course, the stories we've had. The Onana situation, a bid is about to be made. Mason Mount, the offer is still on table. Do you want it to be, pulled back and withdrawn completely? Well, it's not going to happen as it seems. Eric Ten Hag wants to sign his player. They have agreed on personal terms. So United are pushing. The player is also pushing from within. But also, what do you think about the Moise Caicedo situation? Because United are still in the conversation for Moise Caicedo. And interestingly, people were bashing this rumor of United wanting to go back for Moise Caicedo because he's 80 million and of course a bit more pricey than Mason Mount. That if you can't pay 65 million for Mount, how can you pay 80 for Caicedo? I think that's doesn't make sense, because it doesn't make sense for you to be surprised. I first of all think these are two different players. I would pay 80 million happily for Moise Caicedo. I would pay 80 million now for Moise Caicedo. I wouldn't be happy paying 55 million for Mason Mount. For me, the issue is not the money, it's the cost. The issue is not United saying we don't. They also value the player, and they have been clear from the start. They don't want to overpay for Mason Mount. The two players are not at the same level. Moise Caicedo is younger, but he's world class. He has proven that he's world class, and he has a big future ahead of him. Every big club is fighting for him. So Caicedo to go for 80, for me, I think is actually it would be good business. It's good business. United can sign Caicedo for 80. I don't think it would be wise for United to sign Mason Mount for 65. So you can't compare the two. So that conversation and debate and laughing and all that, if United can't pay 65 for Mason Mount, how can they pay 80 for Moise Caicedo? It's a wrong comparison. It's like saying if you don't want to pay if you don't want to pay 30 million for a Toyota Vitz, how do you want to pay 100 million for a Range Rover? I mean, a Range Rover Sport. I mean, doesn't make sense. They are not the same cars. So if someone is overpricing you for a Vitz, an old Vitz, that's exactly the case. If someone is overpricing you for an old Vitz, saying you want it, you want a car, but you're saying, okay, this Vitz I can pay at most 25 million, and someone is saying no, you need to pay 30, and you're saying no, I won't buy it. I would rather get 80 million and buy a Range Rover Sport. I don't think it's the same thing. You can't be laughing. The issue is not the money. The issue is the value for money. So for me, I do think that's what we need to clarify. But for me, even if United only signed 2 players, Victor Osimhen and Moise Caicedo, it would be a success, and De Gea stayed, it would be a successful window for Man United. For me, 100%. Give me your 2 cents about that. Thank you so much. It's the Hotspot. Chat later.